Jason. Oh no. No. Oh no. See what happens, Jason, when people get in the chat and start shit talking Avatar? See what happens? Things break.
Did you guys hear it twice? Because I heard it twice.
There you go. No.
Did I lose Rob? Does anything
can't hear me?
work?
You can't hear me?
Yeah, everything is pretty bad. Nothing really works right. I don't know if you guys could even hear me anymore. Just out here in the vacuum of space. Man, lost by himself. Rob, if
Jason
you're there,
can't hear me.
Can't hear you. Can't see you.
He can't hear me, but you guys can hear me. Huh.
All right, I can hear you now, Rob. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I you know, I got a story today, so everything has to break.
Yeah, your story killed Pee-wee, Jason. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. No, it didn't happen. I know. This one hurts today, Jason. I won't lie. This one hurts.
Yeah. No, he was a good dude. He got wronged by the industry, and he kind of came back. I saw him live. I saw him do a show live. Pee-wee, it's pretty good. If you're going, what does this have to do with Star Wars? Well, he's the original Rex in Star Tours. If you follow that, jazz, he was Rex. He was the robot, and so Paul Reubens died, and that's really, I mean, crappy. Usually when people die, I'm like, yeah, that's too bad. Not happy, that somebody died, but don't really know them, so I just go, okay. But Pee-wee was a big deal, man. Pee-wee was like in comedy and in children's television. I named my daughter Penny after watching Pee-wee's Playhouse again with my son when my son was born. I was like, I like that name, and I went with it. So,
well, the real shame of it, though, Jason, is like people love to our age love to immortalize 80s television like it was really good. It's not. Some of it's iconic, the theme songs, but if you ever just sit through an episode of the A-Team, that theme song sells a lot. The show is just almost unfriggin' watchable. But Pee-wee holds up. I still watch it. It's so good, dude. It's like the original Muppet Show. Like, it actually holds up in a sea of... No one's sitting through Sid and Marty Krofft because it's good. You got to have some kind of like weird hang up on that, But Pee-wee was genuinely good. And I remember at the time when he got maligned, I had an uncle who was an LAPD, right? And pretty nefarious dude, not good. I ended up getting stabbed 17 times on the job. So he had lived, then they let him go. He was like training day. He wasn't a good guy. But when the Pee-wee thing went down, he's like, that dude was set up. He's like, we've set up, guys. He's like, here's how they do it. And he told me they set up like a little porn town or whatever. Everyone's in there's kind of half of them are fake. They get dudes to come in there and do their deal and then arrest. It's just a way to make money, And if we lived in a less conservative society, he could have just bought a fucking tape. Like, he couldn't go into you know what I mean? Like, the dude had to dress up, and this was weird. Maybe he had a kink. I don't know. Like, who knows? But it was just dumb. It was like Jim Henson literally beat his wife and got away with that one. You know what I mean? I love Jim Henson, but he was a dude who smacked his wife around. Sad to say, dude. And, no, didn't bat an eye in the 80s. All things considered. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As long as it's puritanical, it's cool. It's kind of the way it goes. I even find it weird because even with like Twitter today, those people are quote so liberal that they flip over and then they become Puritans. It's really strange, like how that goes. Let's get into and Meg. Thank you for the super chat. Meg says, "I hope things are okay with you, Jason. I miss you. I miss you too, homie. Hopefully we get to hang out together soon, and we will. So let's get over to
onto a happier note.
Article. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this is. This is a weird one. My interface is being like really, really lagged up today. I don't know if it's the heat or if it's them. I even restarted before the show, just trying to see if we could get somewhere. But thank you for the $5 super chat, Neil. Neil says, thanks for what you do, Jason. Appreciate you. Thanks, Neil. I appreciate that, man. A lot.
Thanks, Neil.
All right, I'm gonna try to go over to the article. So rumor, Star Wars The Mandalorians Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 4 could become a film. Hollywood is broken. This is from MakingStarWars.net today. The strikes have made every project a tentative hope. People are playing dirty. The emotions of the labor force is likely going to get angrier. Once writers begin to lose their homes, they will have nothing left to lose but see the strike through, or it was all for nothing. That's what they're all saying, by the way.
Oh, yeah, they're saying it's all for nothing. Jason got, man, you know, this is not a day for me to be like working while we do the show. Okay, I'm going to give Jason a second to come back. And I mean, I would read the article myself, but I got a feeling Jason wants to get credit for this one. This is horrible. Like today is, they shut him up, folks. Iger got him, right? See? It's horrible. Yeah, no, Jason got dumped. We're going to give it like 5 more minutes and then, you know, I'll just I'll end the broadcast if he doesn't come back, because no sense in me reading his article than him doing it again later, right? He nuked him. Disney nuked him from orbit. Man, I'm listening to the Aliens combat drop scene music while we do the show today. So that, yeah, we nuked him from orbit. Hey, crazy timing there, Shane. Love that combat drop. It's great. Great piece. Oh, you guys want to talk Avatar? Yeah. Now let's talk mozzarella sticks. Rob, what do you think of mozzarella sticks? Over or underrated? If you can get them fresh at a bowling alley, they are the best bowling alley food. Yes, but you got to eat them with your left hand and bowl with the right, or vice versa, right? So, but because you can eat it one-handed. Thrawn Kill says, just picked up some spawn figs while in LA. All righty. Congratulations. Pretty dope. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Meg says, Robbenheimer. Yeah, take the Robbenheimer challenge. Robbenheimer challenge. This is where you just go see Mission Impossible 8 times and wait for the other movies to come to home video. So let's see. Arby's mozzarella sticks. I like their jalapeno poppers last time I was there, but I haven't had those. Those is 15 years ago was the last time they ate an Arby's, so I couldn't tell you. Not the best dude. Any fried food's better right out the gate. So I'm going to give this about 1 more minute, folks, and then I'm going to just end the stream. So Jedi Mike, I'm open hyped for Oppenheimer at the 7. Hey man, have a good time, dude. Truly. 70 millimeter, anything in 70 millimeter looks pretty good though, too, right? So it's pretty dope. Sounds like a good time. You are K enough. Huh, you know. 1 minute warning, folks. Get it in. Ask questions now. Rob, what is your favorite DC character? Oh, damn. Man, by just iconic stuff or by storylines? 8-year-old Rob likes Superman. Teenage Rob likes Batman. Story-wise, I like Impulse and the Mark Waid Flash. So that's where I lie in. Mark Sutton says, excited, mostly curious to see the new Ninja Turtles this week. Hey, me too, Mark. Can't wait. Looking forward to that. Bun Sauce. Rob can't carry the stream. Well, Bun Sauce. Thanks for sticking around to tell me that. Yeah. I don't care to carry the stream. That's the whole point. I would never get on the internet and talk about Star Wars by myself because I always talked about Star Wars with my best friend. You know, and now that he Anakin'd, I don't really talk to him anymore. So I could go on and talk about comics and movies and stuff, but Star Wars, I prefer to talk to people about that. 1 more. Here we go. I'm going to go here. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Actually, I love the crinkle cut fries at Arby's with a big fast roast beef sandwich with horsey sauce. Yeah. Can't blame you. Can't believe it. Looks like Jason is gone. Poor Rob. No, poor me, man. I'm gonna get back. I'm drawing Spawn, man. So I'm just gonna go back to drawing Spawn. Teenage Rob would be very proud of me. This is Ask Teenage Rob. Teenage Rob, would you prefer to talk about Star Wars? Oh no, he came back. He came back. Let's see if he's on. This is going to be the worst video for like engagement too, because they're going to be like, you're going to have to timestamp it. Jason talked about, wait, no, he's not visible. He's in, folks. Rob, have you watched Barbie yet? No, I have not. Not worth the risk of getting COVID for me. I'm looking forward to it. But wasn't my
not
deal.
Worth the risk of getting COVID. You saw Mission Impossible 8 times.
Worth the risk.
No.
You know, in a world where we're not guaranteed a tomorrow, I'm happy to know I spend mine watching Mission Impossible movies and Avatar. All right.
So I just read the whole fucking article, you guys. It was a great time.
Oh, no.
Oh, you know what's great? No. Rob's really letting me read this one. That's what I thought to myself.
And I didn't interrupt or nothing, right?
No, I didn't. No.
No.
Do I start the whole thing over? I don't know when I cut out.
Yeah, you cut out right when you started, man. Like,
really?
Like right at the very top. Yeah.
Shit.
Because
all right,
because you stopped talking.
Take 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get through this. Take 2. This is my article for MakingStarWars.net. Hollywood is broken. The strikes have made every. Oh, Rob, if I cut out, fucking text me. Hollywood is broken.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I have you. Sorry.
You just do that. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right. Hollywood is broken. The strikes have made every project a tentative hope. People are playing dirty. The emotions of the labor force is likely going to get angrier. Once writers begin to lose their homes, they will have nothing left to lose but to see the strike through, or it was all for nothing. In the last week, I've had meetings with sources about the state of Lucasfilm, Star Wars, and Disney. As you would expect, everything is in a liminal space at the moment. Anyone, even on the inside, who pretends they know what is going to happen is probably too confident in their analysis. I like to report facts as much as I can. The only fact I know in this article is there is a plan or concept Lucasfilm may or may not use. Mm-hmm.
You might be breaking up randomly. Just let you know. Maybe you should just turn your video off and just go to a picture. You know, try turning your video off. Let's just see if that speeds things up. Let's try that. It's your sweet voice we want, though, Jason.
No, right? I know.
Let's give this a shot. Oh no, you turned the camera back on. Turn that off. Get rid of that camera.
No, I never even turned it off, Rob. So that's what's crazy about this.
It was
that's
off,
what's
though.
great about this.
Oh, I love this show. I like it when this is like the Millennium
My camera was off,
and
then my camera was off, and then you said turn the camera off, Rob. Okay, hold on.
No. I said turn it off, then you turned it off, but you came back, and then you said it wasn't. Now it's off.
Oh, okay. All right. So here we go. Okay, guys, can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah.
You can hear me, Rob?
You.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put this article back up. Okay. I'm going to try to put the article back up, but I can't promise. And if you could do me a favor, Rob, because this is moving so broken right now, take the comments off because I can't do it.
Take the comments off. So, okay. All right. When we get a super chat, you want me to put the super chats up? Because we got a super chat.
Oh, you put that super chat.
Let's put that super chat. Mumbo Jumbo for $1.99 says, this is like waiting for a Marvel post-credit scene. I have to go PC, post-credit scene. Yeah. I'd say this is more like phase 4 or 5 post-credit scene, right, Jason?
I don't know.
Like, is this really going to matter? Is this gonna?
I mean, it's hot today, but I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, but all right. So anyways, Rob, probably never going to be able to put the article up because the comment went up and now it just won't let me do it.
Okay. You know, I was going to try to draw today, but that's not going to happen. I can try and put the article up. How about that? Okay.
Okay, but
let me do one for this show. You know.
All right, you can just do it. Just do it for the article, and then after that, we just won't show the articles or something. We're just an audio podcast on the YouTube machine today. Because this is how it's gonna go.
I got to find it on this site of yours. Weird, Jason. Which one is it? Like, it should be at the top. Latest news. Acolyte is wrapped.
No, you might need to clear your cat. You might need to like reload the page. I mean, it's coming up. It's coming up for me on like my phone. And
there it is. Yeah. Okay. Else, yeah. We're just having a fun day today.
Right. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes we do that around here. You know, we can do that if we want to. All right, I'm just gonna read the article. Fuck it. Hollywood is broken. This is the last time I'm ever reading this. If this doesn't work, I just quit. Hollywood is broken. The strikes have made every project a tentative hope. People are playing dirty. The emotions of the labor force is like going to get angrier. Once writers begin to lose their fucking homes, they will have nothing left to lose but to see the strike through, or it was all for nothing. In the last week, I have had meetings with sources about the state of Lucasfilm, Star Wars, and Disney. As you would expect, everything is in a liminal space at the moment. Anyone, even on the inside, who pretends they know what is going to happen is probably too confident in their analysis. I like to report facts as much as I can. The only fact I know in the article is there is a plan or a concept Lucasfilm may or may not use. Even though they're often wrong, Disney likes to look at possible outcomes and take the smartest path. This plan is being floated internally. This plan also seems to be a favorite amongst some of the executives.
Floater.
I have no...
What? It's a floater.
Okay. Making sure I'm here.
Nah,
I have no idea.
You made a floater joke. So, okay. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, floated. I have no idea what the creatives think or how they feel about this concept. So I don't know what Dave and John and whoever, anybody else thinks about this shit. I haven't heard anything about that. Sorry for all the buildup, but I need to make sure we're on the same page about this. Okay? Remember what I am saying, what I am unsure of, not how this may be re-reported. If this gets re-reported, it's going to be re-reported in ways that grifters see as the easiest way for them to make a dollar, not for the truth. Okay. So apparently, from what I am hearing, there is a fear Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will not be able to make 2 seasons of Disney Plus shows that are prerequisites for Dave Filoni's Star Wars theatrical film. So they can't do 2 shows and this movie in the time that they're going to have when this fucking strike ends. A question being floated, there you go again, is if they can take the main story of Star Wars The Mandalorian's 4th season and edit those scripts into a film that will release after the Rey film. This would effectively give Filoni 2 theatrical Star Wars films produced by Jon Favreau. We would lose the 4th season of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus for now, but we would instead experience that story as a theatrical film that would lead into Dave Filoni's original concept a year or so later. And once again, that may fuck with the 10 Commandments Star Wars film that they've been talking about. I don't know if it would or what that would mean. As the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes continue, the chances of Mando 4, Ahsoka 2, and the untitled Filoni film all being written and filmed on time, and that should be like revised for Mando 4, is looking less possible by the moment. Without a Christmas miracle, it isn't that likely unless they let the quality take a nosedive or take lots of amphetamines. Disney is prioritizing sharp policy change over the last few years. If the WGA strikes last into 2024, which right now seems likely, the plan could come to fruition and seems to be the leading preference on the table. I heard this from one of my most trusted sources ever, and I have had it authenticated by other trusted sources and colleagues. Do I think this will happen? Honestly, I have no idea. Like I said at the start of this article, no one knows what the future holds. No one knows what nefarious plans the CEOs in Hollywood have to hurt the people who work for them, and when their sadistic fit will cool. The very suggestion CEOs forego their bonuses so thousands of families can... The very suggestion CEOs forego their bonuses so thousands of families can live a middle-class existence was seen as a declaration of war by elites in Hollywood. Let them eat cake, just make sure the cake is branded with their IPs first. Since the strike, we have seen Disney CEO Bob Iger suggest not meeting with writers until they begin to lose their homes and apartments. And we have seen city-owned trees cut down by the corporations to make the strikers suffer in the summer heat. All of this is not setting the stage for a compromising. All of this is making the aforementioned plan seem more possible. I do think the third season of The Mandalorian had a solid core story that would have made a better film than television season. If they take that path here, I see it as a lateral move with less chance for terrible moments. Think Lizzo. All killer, no filler. It may bring us a beautiful product in the end. However, I would hate for it to be a buffer before we get to the real stuff they actually want to make. So then the official release slate is as follows. Untitled Star Wars movie, the Rey one, May 22nd, 2026. Untitled Star Wars movie, December 18th, 2026. That's the one we're talking about right now. Untitled Star Wars movie, December 17th, 2027. And that's supposed to be the Mangold film. So that's where all of this shakes out. So
I'm gonna remove this.
So I mean, you might kind of get your wish, Rob.
Look, this should have just been the plan. Like I just felt Grogu should have come back in a movie. That's how if you're gonna bring him back. I mean, when I say bring him back, I mean you could have dual storylines in the film, but
4 years ago.
Reuniting them in Disney Plus series is just not the way to go. But now we're gonna do the Mando movie one way or the other. So one way or another,
But I'm also not 100%. I think I'm hearing your mic now, by the way, on my headset. But or myself on your heads. But I
just
don't know
smack the back of the machine, Jason.
I know. I need to
smack the back, right?
Yeah, but it falls this like I said, like this falls into like a really, really weird place because as the strike continues, we're likely to see this story pop up. We're likely to hear the story coming from different places. We're likely to, and this is more likely to happen. Now, if the strike magically ends tonight, that would change everything. But I don't know if it will. I don't think it will. Beats me.
So if I have one wish, do I waste it on ending the strike, or do I go for soda fountains? Because I've wanted soda fountains since 1986.
Okay. Well, okay. What's the okay? So, think of it this way, though. Think about where this methodology sucks. You want a Daredevil show, they give you Echo to lead you into Daredevil. What if this film is Echo leading us into Daredevil, so to speak? Like that could happen.
Real shame. I know, but
worse. Yeah,
it's just a shame that they made the Disney Plus Echo, not the one in the comic. That's the bummer. I don't think it's quite the same deal, but
you comic book nerd, you're missing the point. No, but what I'm saying is,
I've shown you the pages on the stream, Jason. You know what I mean? You've seen what it looked like.
No, I know, but what I'm saying
like Spider-Verse
is clearly not about. It's not about quality. It's about quantity at that point. It's about how do we milk every single corner of the path to this thing that we know will be a hit. And if it became that would be a shame. And if it is that, it's going to hurt the actual thing. And we've seen them hurt the actual thing. That's why I'm not like, well, they're going to make the right call because they don't always do that. You know what I mean? That's where I get a little nervous.
But my philosophy for the Mando movie wasn't do it because it's popular. It happens to be popular. Yes, do it. But really the reason is theoretically, I thought on Disney Plus, they start new storylines. If something takes off, they can continue it into a movie because you have this thing called opening crawl that can just summarize what happened before. And then you already made your prequel. It's on Disney Plus. And if something doesn't take it, that way you don't have to start a whole giant storyline on the big screen and get everyone around that. You can sort of test bed and with different directors, different writers, different storylines on the TV side. Take the one that would just happen to be the first thing they did was a colossal win, right? Like coincidentally it happened. It may not have happened that way. Same with Marvel. I sort of felt like post Endgame, they should have moved toward boots on the ground I call them boots on the ground heroes, like the Daredevils, right? The Moon Knight as it exists in the comics, the monsters like Blade, like move toward that and away from go supernatural and like grim and gritty, like alley heroes, Winter Soldier style stuff,
Right.
and not cosmic Rick and Morty shit. You know what I mean? Because you can do that. I mean, we've already seen you can do that with the Daredevil series on Netflix. You can do that on Disney Plus, you know, and then move them into the theaters, get the origin stories out of the way, put them online, and just have the adventure happen on the big screen.
Yeah.
But they ain't doing none of that, right? It's free for all clusterfuck at this point. So
Bob Iger's like, wait a minute, you mean people actually read those opening crawls? That was the thing?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever.
I mean, it's like so okay, I didn't put this in the article because I didn't want it to get picked up incorrectly. I didn't want it to get picked up like I'm saying this is like a fact. The only fact, like I said in that article, that I wanted to reiterate that was part of the story is that they may have to make Mando 4 into a film. That's the main storyline of it, you know, and that sets it up. So the model that we talked about was like this, and this is conjecture on my part, but they were going with it for what it's worth. Probably doesn't mean much, but Mando goes out and he starts to hunt Imperials for the Republic, for the New Republic. In the process of that, Thrawn returns from what happens at the end of Ahsoka season 1. And then it's like, oh shit, it's a lot more serious. I just decided to go hunt the most badass guys in the galaxy. I thought I was going for slim pickings to teach my apprentice, my son. And it's not going to go that way now. And then so Thrawn returns, and then they have to get together and then go fight, you know, the bad guys in the next one. And that's supposed to be that's what we assume is going to be in that season, amongst a bunch of other fucking side stories, right? And so when you get down to it, that right there would just mean almost a reintroduction of the Mandalorian in film. And then we would just have, so it would be a story about a Mandalorian who probably bites off more than he can chew and has an adorable apprentice. That's kind of what it would be. And then at the end of it, we'd probably see a bunch of the characters coming to aid him. And then the follow-up film would be when they do the big fight and stuff like that. But, you know, obviously I would think, I'm just guessing, but I'm imagining they would have to bring in elements of the Filoni's film into this one to make it
they can't just otherwise you can't just do like, it needs a big finale, even if it's a cliffhanger finale. It needs, you know, the battle. You know what they do? Battle for Jakku, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they can't do that. You always say that, but they can't do that. That happened when Kylo happened before Kylo Ren was even born. More people played the Battle of Jakku in that Battlefront game than read every Star Wars book and comic book combined. It's the one.
The games don't count,
and all of the novels. No, they do.
The novels don't count.
The
comics don't count,
and they still do.
They don't.
But when it I mean, will they erase something if they need to? Of course they will. But the Battle Jakku won't happen. And who gives a fuck about the Battle of Jakku at this point, since it didn't matter at all anyways? You know what I mean? Like Jakku is fallen off the fans.
Yeah, but you can make something that didn't matter into something that did matter. Like you can do that. Well,
yeah, a
lot of people would say they made the Clone Wars matter with the TV series because it didn't really matter in the movies.
No, it
didn't really matter at all.
They sandwiched it.
Happened off screen.
You know what I mean?
Happened off screen.
Mostly well, it starts on screen and it ends on screen, but the middle is not on screen. You know, just the crust.
Genius, bread. Brilliant idea.
Well, it is if you want to go make a bunch of television shows and stuff about it. You know.
That's what sold us on that back in 1997. I'm gonna put it all on a TV show later. You imagine if Lucas had been doing his interview and he was like, hey, I'm gonna do these 3 movies, but I'm gonna do the really good stuff 10 years from now on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah. See you at the theaters, bitch.
That's
like, all right, thanks.
That's pretty much his attitude. You're making a joke, and that's just history right there. You're just telling history.
I know. That's what I know. I know. That's what I try to tell him. That's just the way history works. It rhymes. It's poetry. It's like when Marcia told me to fuck off, and then I told my fan, no, George, you can't do that. George, you're gonna say some things you regret, George. You're gonna say some things you regret.
Don't do it, George. Yeah. No,
maybe we'll see the Battle of Jimmy or Kimiji, or what's the name of it?
Kajimi?
What is that? Kajimi. Mm-hmm. Kajimi. Yeah, we're going to see the Battle of Kajimi.
Yeah. They'll. No, I mean, they'll. I don't know. I'm curious to see if this happens, and if it does happen, how it happens. Because I mean, when you look at what the other realistic plan is, they don't do the film that year.
You think they'll wheel back out Moff Gideon, for the movie?
Oh
yeah.
I think so. Like there was. I mean, it's still confusing what the fuck was going on with him in that last season, anyways. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back. But at the same time, with Thrawn around, you don't need him either. So I don't know. You could go Baymax is off the Jimmy Eat World.
I thought you couldn't bring them up, Jason. I thought you couldn't bring them up. Huh? I was going to bring it up for you there. I brought it up. I think you clicked it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I had just brought it up for you. Yeah, there you go. You clicked it off. There you go. The Jimmy World. I like it.
Yeah. I would be okay with like I said, I would be okay with this plan. I just
someone
hope
still has to scab though, right? Like,
no.
So you're assuming that this only gets done if the strike ends anyway. But when the strike ends, there's just no time to do the other stuff, so they'd have to shorten it down to get it done, kind of deal.
Yeah. So it would go like this.
Right.
They take the 8 scripts, the story from the 8 scripts, they edited into one film of Mando 4, losing all of the other stuff he's done. I guess that stuff would just get brought up in other places and reconfigured down the road, I suppose. I don't know, just a guess. And then they would revise it, probably. I mean, I'm just going to guess. Actually, I heard it would take about 4 months, they thought, realistically, if they were 4 months. And that's what I heard. It was like, with him, it's about 4 months. And then also, don't forget that Jon Favreau's not afraid to go shoot a movie without a script either to start it.
Or a whole series, like really think about it.
Yeah. But
I mean, they wrote stuff down, but
but that's not the Lucasfilm way at all. But it could go that way. It really could. And but anyways, yeah. So the idea.
Think Mando will be eating? You think Mando will be eating the giant donut? Is what you're saying?
Well,
like he'll be. Remember the
the thing is I was trying to look at how solid were the ideas for Ahsoka 2, because that's another thing, is like there's stuff that was supposed to go into Ahsoka 2, and I am also kind of something I could not get any confirmation on this, so I left it out of the article, but I'm able to clarify on the show. That's just why I'm doing this. I would imagine that some of the stuff that would have been in the second season of Ahsoka will be in this film too. So I didn't want to make it. So I would imagine it would be a Mando Ahsoka film to some extent.
I got it. I got to figure it out. I know who should direct this. If the movie's good, Gareth Edwards. If the creator it lives up to the hype, just be like, we're going to give you another movie, man, but we're going to stay the hell out of it. We promise. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
here's a payday, and we'll put your name front and center.
Well, I think that's possible that could happen someday. On something, I'm surprised it hasn't.
It's just he can do a lot with little money. He's the dude, man.
They even did a 5 years on retrospective of Rogue One with him and stuff like that. So to me. With how salty they get about shit, it's kind of funny because he's on the salty crate shot in the last but with how salty they get, they're clearly not salty at him. what he did shoot was good. It wasn't his fault that they changed the order while the chef was cooking. That's what happened to him when you get down to it. And so anyways, yeah.
I'm be honest, man.
But this is
the last
Filoni
film.
But this is a Filoni film. This won't be another director. I don't want anybody to get confused. Filoni's not losing anything. Filoni's gaining a film.
Oh, he'd get 2 films. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Dave? Oh my God, I get 2 films.
2 films. 2 movies for you now.
Oh, we're gonna call it the Shocker trilogy, Jason. Know what I'm saying?
Shocker is that's 4, Dave. That's 4.
Oh, well, for you, I like to double it up. Know what I'm saying?
You got the sausage fingers, Dave. Right.
I can't wait. 2 movies. Okay, that's enough, Dave. It's 2. We're all crying today, and he's the only guy partying. You know,
calling it the Ramrod trilogy. But we don't know why.
That's my favorite He-Man character, Jason Ramrod. No, it's not a character. It's not a character. It's not.
Oh, no.
It's not a character in He-Man, Dave.
Agree to disagree, says Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, the whole fear on my part is that this is more filler and exposition in film, and this would, if true, or I should say if it happens, it's accurate. I know it's accurate, but if it happens, then it's like, is this a really bad move in the end? You know what I mean? Like, does it end up
here's
like
the thing,
hurting the film? You know?
Yeah, but here's the thing. They need a little shot of adrenaline. And no offense to the fans of Mando season 3, they didn't do it. You know, they ain't got. So if they can put in a big finale sequence, something that can really wow get a good 90-minute movie in there, set up the story they need. Fill up, just make it a good popcorn film, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, I'll accept a movie with the storyline as deep as Mario Brothers at this point. Like just make it fun. Just make it so you want to watch it again. Yeah, that's really what they need to go for. Something a little bit more lyrical. As much as I love Mission Impossible and Spider-Verse, those are films you got to like sit in for. I'm hoping the Turtles movie is a little bit more. I can just leave it on a loop, right, when I work. Like, you know what I mean? I want one of those kind of things right now, Right. So I'm hoping this is that kind of thing. And then with the second film, they can do their big extravaganza, whatever they want to do. But they could use some, some juice.
Do you think if they do this, do you think they'll have to reintroduce Mandalorian for non-Disney Plus people, like in a pretty big way? I know we were joking about the opening crawl, and sure, the opening crawl can reiterate quite a bit, but do you think like the first act becomes like a here's Din, here's the boy, and this is what they do?
You don't need a plot act. You can just set up a bounty hunting bit, an opening sequence that solves all that problems in the first 6 to 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't need to be a 30-minute long train sequence. You can do this very economically, know?
Yeah. And I was going to hold this story for a while, hoping that I could get more on it, that I could get like, because I want to know, like, are Favreau and Filoni like for this? Are they against it? Right now, I don't know. I haven't been able to like get anything about that. Just that that's what Disney's all a buzz about and stuff like that. So
the shareholders want it, so that's for certain.
Well, there's a, like we talked about before. From what I understand, the people that are on the Disney Plus leg of things, they don't want this to happen. They want to keep Mandalorian on Disney Plus exclusively for the most part. And it's like, if they lose a season of Mandalorian on Disney Plus, that's going to be a bad year for Disney Plus, I think. But we're already set up for that anyways. We're already set up for that anyways.
Making a bunch of mediocre Marvel shows didn't help either, right? So,
I don't agree to disagree. No, I saw the Loki trailer today though. That looked fucking good.
Different crew though. Different crew, right? They seem to know what they're doing. You know.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, the Star Wars crew knows what they're doing. They just unfortunately sometimes get overworked like they're slaves, and then it goes to hell. You know what I mean? That's just truly what's happened. I mean,
and I am looking forward to X-Men 97. I'm the only guy talking about this right now.
I'm excited for it too. That's honestly the only thing from them I want. That's not Star Wars. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like me and you, we could cover that shit week to week if it's a week to week.
Oh hell yeah,
it will be. You know, I'm down. Yeah. So, but the Loki trailer looked awesome, which I was glad to see at least the semblance of a win for Disney Plus at this point. You know,
right?
It hasn't been a good year for Disney Plus at all.
I know. When the minute they went with that AI opening for Secret Invasion, I'm like, I'm not even gonna. No, not doing it. Sat it out. This is the first thing I haven't watched.
To be fair, though, that opening got that AI the job at Twitter, now called X. So, you know,
quit that too.
Be happy for it.
Quit that too.
Yeah, I know. All right, really quickly, I'm going to open up an article over here from bestmanbulletin.com. This will close out this last 7 shows worth of Lando news. And by the way, I dug on Lando. I started digging on Lando before all of this came out, so I kind of going to throw my hands up on it for the most part. But the one thing I can add is they got a lot more serious about Lando because of this plan that I'm talking about today, by the way. They're going to need a little bit, but this happened before. This Lando stuff was getting a little bit like, oh yeah, this is for like a little bit after when we get into the Dave Filoni territory for the Filoni films and stuff like that, because things are going to slow down on those productions. So most likely this show will be what picks up the slack when we don't have new Mando coming out. We don't have for instance Andor also is finished and so on.
Not for nothing though, Jason. Like if the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew are dope, you never know what's going to be a big win. You just don't know, you know. And if it is, then that can fill in. That's what they should be doing, is legitimately developing new stuff. So you know you can rotate it in and move stuff up and out, blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, oh no, Justin Simeon got involved again.
He's out.
Poor guy. No, but I'm saying like news. Justin Simeon news isn't.
Yeah. So Justin
I didn't see this article.
So this is from bestmanbulletin.com. Justin Simeon discovered he was off Star Wars Lando Thursday, following reports Donald and Stephen Glover would write the series. Poor guy. I'm gonna say though, if you wear that stupid fucking bow tie and you're not Pee Herman, nobody wants to look you in the eye and tell you bad news. All right, that's just the world we live in. But
I don't want to be. I don't want to pick, but Jason, do we? This is how the industry works. Not just Hollywood, just any creative endeavor. They paid you. They just don't tell you what they're doing next. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One day you find out someone else is doing it. It's just, I don't like it, but it's not like it started with him, you know, like everyone else knew and then no one told me.
Well, okay. Like before I read the article, I'm going to tell you exactly what this feels like to me. And it feels like you started dating someone and it was going okay, right? You're like kind of serious about him. And then all of a sudden, you're not into it anymore.
I mean,
and then they like don't Lando. Call for a while, and then break Lando. It off. But then like 3 weeks later, you find out they still think you're dating.
Jason, it's Lando. He is aware of what happened to the guys who directed the last Lando bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the one this actor was in, he's aware of how that went, right? Like they legitimately thought they were making a movie. Oh. They were making a movie, and then they were.
Like I said, they were. I don't care what the official story is. I don't care what stories they made up about Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and all that bullshit. I was always told they were told we hired the Kasdan. We got Lawrence Kasdan on this to make a Lawrence Kasdan script. Kasdan wasn't happy that they were improvising. They said shoot more coverage and make sure you shoot the script. And they started going off and started missing. Things started falling off. They were warned. Happened again. They moved on with that. Now, do I think it was the right way to go based off of their other output, their other work that they've done before and after Solo? They fucked up. Those guys are fucking geniuses practically. They are. Yeah. That was the wrong move. And the script to Solo was not a genius script. So was that a bad Kathleen Kennedy call? Fuck yeah, it was. Yeah, it definitely was. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it's an exceptional movie. Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I feel it's what set up Willow for failure.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
You know? Yeah, prove me wrong.
Light. All right. On Thursday, this is from BestmanBulletin.com, and you can support Bestman on Patreon or give him a coffee and follow him on Threads, okay? Do that. On Thursday, fans discovered that writers of Atlanta, Donald and Stephen Glover, were taking over writing duties on the long-awaited Lando series being made for Disney Plus, as per various reports. It also seems as if the original writer of the series discovered this news and that he was off the project the same time that we did. And I gotta say, that's fucked. And that's rude as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like just to not say anything. Now, before I read on, I think they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. I think they were hoping the Glovers would turn something in. They would know what was up if they were going to go with what the Glovers were doing, or if the Glovers were going to build on what he did. And then they were probably going to tell him. But then the way that things unfolded, no one ever told them. And then here we are. So on Thursday, It was exclusively reported by Above the Line that Donald Glover, who played Lando Calrissian in Solo, A Star Wars Story, and his brother, Stephen Glover, who co-wrote the critically acclaimed Atlanta with Donald, had taken over writing duties of the Lando series announced in 2020, and that the original writer, Justin Simien, had been shown the exit ahead of the release of Simien's latest project, Haunted Mansion. The report mentioned that the Glovers had been working on the series for quite some time, but put pencils down once the Writers Guild of America began their strike in May. However, it seems that Simien was one of the last people to discover he was off the series and discovered this development the same time we did. Remember, this guy's making the Haunted Mansion for Disney. Like, he works in the fucking company. Like, it wasn't like he was off like in, but Paramount Pictures making Top Gun series or something. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
You think he's like in the editing bay, and then like Kathy, and they kind of like sneak around it. You know what I mean? Like
Patty Jenkins probably called up and said, "Yeah, you too." Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they made her a whole trailer, kind of. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like a teaser trailer. You know.
To be fair, between the skates and the bow tie, I think they were both asking for it. All right. The Haunted Mansion writer-director took on his Instagram stories on Thursday, where he shared a Variety article which was reporting that Atlanta scribes Donald and Stephen Glover were taking over the writing duties on Lando, as Simien was shown the exit door. Exit door. Yeah, it's kind of redundant. Alongside the article, Simien simply writes, "This is me finding out right now." Oh, man. I feel really bad for the dude. That's really fucked up. In the initial,
I don't like it, but this is not. You can't be that shocked, right?
You know what? Yeah, when you, I mean, number one, he doesn't deserve it. He wasn't treated right.
Correct.
It was highly unfair. Correct. But when you make a deal with the devil fucks you over every time. Let's just be real about it. They're white slavers. They're white devils. In the initial report from Above the Line,
ask David Lynch. Ask David Lynch what happened to his career.
It was mentioned that Justin Simien. Okay. In the report from Above the Line, it was mentioned that Justin Simien had been off the Lando series since last summer, when he bowed out to focus on production and post-production on the Haunted Mansion. Author of the report, Jeff Snyder, took to his podcast, The Hot Mic, to expand on his report, where he mentioned that Simien's Haunted Mansion did not have a smooth production, with the third act having heavy reshoots, and with Simien not being well-versed in productions with a heavy use of CGI. That's not a good sign for Star Wars.
I thought we were going to use real ghosts.
Yeah, I know. I'll be honest with you. Like,
facetious.
I in no way ever doubted the accuracy of the report from Snyder. But I did wonder if that was maybe like the source's idea or slant, because you would think that like between the DP and all of the people working for him, like he would have had the support to not make errors in that way. Does that seem like that? Does that seem possible to you, Rob? Is the question I have.
Yeah, the wise ass in me likes to think that he legitimately thought they were just going to shoot at the ride. You know what I mean?
No, but
we're not going to Disneyland. What? Like,
but seriously, what is it like in your opinion? Does that part seem like, because sometimes sources will tell you real things that are accurate, and then they have their little like fucking like idea that from what their opinion, and it's like kind of shitty, and you're like, do I include it? This sounds like that to me, but I don't know. That's weird that he wouldn't it seems weird that he could go that far into it. People would be like, if we shoot this like this, we can't do the effect. Like, what are you doing?
That's not what's happening. If I had to put my money down on what's happening, it's not that he didn't understand about green screen or CGI. What that means is some people like McQuarrie and them, they make their movies in the editing bay. They shoot a shitload of coverage and, sort of have a template of a script, and then they make it in the editing bay, which is to an extent what Lucas did on the original Star Wars, but that really limits your ability to make huge changes. Like Lucas had to really work out the film before in terms of the big effects, right? Like we know we're gonna have a Death Star sequence. We know we're gonna have these big visual effects sequences, and those were immovable once he started shooting Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like here, I tend to think they can move around and change endings, and change big things and take them out. And it's like, no, that's just money being wasted once you start deleting visual effects sequences, or saying my movie doesn't need that. And then maybe I cut that out. And it's like, or we had planned on having this other thing, but then I want to change it. And it's like, there's no time for that. Now I heard that the movie ended up in a better position because of reshoots, but this was supposed to be a Disney Plus production that got upgraded. Yeah. And my guess is that probably had more to do with tax incentives. You know what I mean? Like there was probably some behind it. If we do the reshoots, then we can as the movie, we can reclassify this in a different way and get a different tax break. But that's what they mean when they say well-versed in productions with heavy use of CGI, because a big complaint about Greta Gerwig before Barbie came out within the industry was she doesn't understand the visual effects. I think even Snyder mentioned that, because I had heard this before, that she was probably not happy with the movie, and she wasn't used to working with visual effects, even though they did a lot of stuff in camera. But that really just has to do not with the visual effects, it has to do with structuring the film and how you edit. So I
that's
actually where Iron Jim knows if things are going to work before or after they do it. Like he just knows. They've talked about it. How do you just know? He just did a recent interview. If you could type in his most recent interview, he did this visual FX exploration, whatever. But he was saying, how do you know? He's like, I just have like an intuition. Like it's probably because he has an engineering mind. He kind of understands, but a lot of these people don't. They don't have, and that's why I think when it comes to heavy use of films that are going to require a lot of post-production, if you come from the animation industry, you're better versed for it, because those are made in a very similar fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's what the reporting happened to that. Above the Line reported that it was Simeon's commitment to Haunted Mansion that led him to amicably bow out of Lando, as Lucasfilm, who were eager to continue development, reached out to Donald and Stephen Glover, who stepped on as writers and have been penning the project for quite some time. So is this a situation where like, because like we're hearing two different stories between the director and Jeff in this instance, and it's like he's like, nah, of course I wasn't. So was this a thing where he's like, oh, they're like, we want to do Lando. Lucasfilm's like, we want to do Lando, guys. We want to do Lando right now. We want to get Lando moving. And he's like, oh, I can't. I'm doing a ghost show. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they're like, but that means bye. And he thinks it means I'll wait for you forever.
Yeah, these two things conflict. Either he intentionally bowed out and knew, or he just figured, oh, they're not going to make it until I'm done, and I didn't know I wasn't going to be involved in any. Like I don't know. Like I told you, I don't know the man. I don't know his work. I saw the trailer for Haunted Mansion, and I'm like, I think this is like sort of like a Casper style family film. Could do well, could not do well. I mean, it looks okay. Doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look great. It's no Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's no Haunted Mansion 2003, right? But the last two articles we had with him, I'm like, these are his own quotes. It's like, I didn't know, and maybe it's because I'm too queer. And I'm like, I don't think that's it at all, man. Like they just don't want to go in your direction. And I'm sorry, because I've been on that. I've been there. I know what that feels like not at this level, but at a level. I do certainly understand this. And I mean, I've been on a production where we were all making, I can't say I've been on a production where we were making a big product. Everyone was being hired. And then you wake up the next day and it's over and no one told anybody,
Mm-hmm.
And that is a strange. You're like, why did you let everyone get hired if you knew you were someone? You just decided this morning. That's not how this works, but it does happen.
Do you think he's trying to set up sympathy to ensure that he gets credit for the work that he did? Is he trying to make it where
he doesn't decide that? The WGA decides that. I mean, the WGA is going to look at the script and decide who gets credit.
If they dispute, if they dispute it.
Yeah.
If they don't dispute it, they can just decide to give him credit if they want to make him like he's. I don't know.
I told you, I suspect, and I said this last time we talked about this, that Donald and his brother never even looked at what Simeon put together. That they wouldn't even read it. And
that's a big question. Are they building off of what Simeon did, or are they not? We have no indication of that. But we only have a guess. We have no indication from Snyder. We have no indication from the trades. We have no indication from Simeon or the Glovers at this point. We have no idea. So it could
nothing official
really go either way. Because there are certain aspects of that story that wouldn't give Simeon a credit no matter what. For instance, if it's is it about Lando finding his long lost brother? Right. And that's why the brothers are writing it together, or something like that. Is that like a thing? Is that a thing in this narrative? And if it's like a Lucasfilm premise that they are then hiring people to make, it's much more likely they all get credit. You know what I mean? That for the development of the idea. But at the same time,
that's something Simeon and his agent or creative representation agency needs to. They have to. Usually it's the agency and the agent. They kind of deal with that, But there's no one way. But and then they would dispute, and it goes to arbitration. WGA reads it, and then blah blah blah.
Right.
Depends.
But like the way that it's set up right now, it sounds like Simeon is like, what's happening? I didn't know this is happening to me. You know what I mean?
I just don't buy that. I don't.
Yeah.
No, he can say that, but I don't believe that to be true. Just given how did you know? Okay, I mean, look, man, if they don't talk to you for 3 years and you're making another movie, they've moved on. I don't care what anyone says. Just do the math, buddy. Come on.
No, that's like somebody showing up, and be like, hey, we're still dating. Like, we haven't talked in 6 months. What are you talking about? Right? I mean, that's what
just goes back to work, right?
Yeah, just goes back to work.
Well, that was Larry David when he quit SNL, but then just decided to go back and not. He really did that.
Yeah. All right. So Simeon has been. This is from Bestman Bulletin. Still, Simeon has been in headlines in recent weeks as he revealed to various outlets that he had not heard any update on the Lando series since its announcement in December of 2020, adding that development had been paused shortly before the announcement as Lucasfilm worked to figure out the scheduling of those set to be involved. Simeon added in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that he wonders if projects he's attached to don't come to fruition because of his race and sexuality. Above the Line, Jeff Snyder added that during his podcast on Thursday that he believes Simeon was towing the company line and was not looking to make headlines in regards to being off the Lando series ahead of the release of Haunted Mansion, which released this weekend and is expected to earn around 30 million domestically and score a mere 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's like super weird because if he's lying, if he should know he's off, is he committing career suicide right now by going and basically he made this into a big
I don't know
story.
about career, but you could be burning a bridge, yeah.
Not career suicide, Disney suicide. You know what I mean?
Right,
like, but maybe after Haunted Mansion, it's best he doesn't work.
Well, I mean, George bought Star Wars back, so he can just get a job with George when George takes over, right?
My sources are saying that George thinking about buying Disneyland now, and then having it attack Walt Disney World in Florida, and making that.
No. I'm just buying all the Dole Whips. I'm keeping the Dole Whips together. Whips. Yeah.
Maybe if Indiana Jones had a Dole Whip, think about it. All right.
Yeah, well, he's a diabetic. He can't have those.
Okay. And how did they not make that crossover at Disneyland for the Indiana Jones film on the ride? Stupid idiots. Simeon's comments to various outlets and his initial Instagram post come across like a man being honest to me. Perhaps there's more to the story than what's already been written, but despite the shock of discovery he's off the Lando series and replaced by the he wrote Grover Brothers. Grover's.
Oh, Grover.
Glover Brothers.
I am Grover, right? Like, kind of like that. I don't really do the Grover voice.
He made my brain malfunction. I was like, I can't think of Glover for some reason because I'm thinking of Grover.
There's two Grovers?
Yeah. Grover Brothers. Glover Brothers. Simeon holds no ill will towards Donald and Steven, as Simeon followed up with his initial story with Donald is a national treasure. Glad he and Steven get to carry the character forward their way. Can't wait to see it, rooting for everybody black. So he seems to be at least coming at it from a good place.
And neither am I happy or unhappy that Simeon is on it. We all can agree that the problem, as I said, I believe since day one, is they just don't know how to like manage relationships with talent. Yeah, like I do think maybe, and I'm not that familiar with Kathleen Kennedy's career other than, she starts producing on Poltergeist, right? She was running Amblin and was Spielberg's assistant. And then she does Poltergeist as her first film, and then she's producing film for Steven Spielberg all the way through until she takes over for, Lucasfilm for Lucas. But it's like you're not in a position to hire and firing directors on Steven Spielberg movies, right? So like, it's a different situation than cultivating talent and building relationships with them and guiding them through whole productions. If you got a wonderkind kind of doing all that for you, then you're just making certain they have all the resources they need.
Wonder Kid is what I believe it's called.
Wonderkind. He's not wonderkind. Yeah.
Jonesy, thank you for being a channel member. And I'm going to pick on you for being a channel member and being so bold with this comment. Simeon will not be credited in connection with Lando. Who says? The Glover brothers have quietly been in control of the Lando series for many months and are writing a new story independently from Simeon's. But we don't know that from anywhere, unless you got an inside source, in which case, email me. On that one right there, we don't actually know that. No one actually knows that. That's kind of like been my point. And like I was saying before, like look at the Obi-Wan Kenobi film versus the television series and how credit went on that. It's literally just because like it has similarities that they would all have no matter what. It's on Tatooine. Luke's a little boy.
But that's where the WA would be able to discern the difference pretty easily. They're pretty good at that,
No, but that alone, the circumstantial things. See, those writing kinds of credits, the way it was set up, wasn't for franchised Hollywood. It wasn't set up. The rules weren't set up under the sequel-itis world that we live in. They were like designed like, oh, we're going to write Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and then a new writer comes in. Okay, and then it's very clear cut on those kind of films.
Yeah, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good at figuring out who wrote a Marvel movie, though, Jason. And there's a shitload of writers on those films. Or how about Rogue One, right?
Well, no, it ends. Yeah, no, exactly. But it ends up everybody got credit on Rogue One. A lot of people got credit on Rogue One.
Barry didn't.
And
a lot of uncredited people on Rogue One.
Who didn't?
Macquarie, he's not credited.
No, but he didn't want to be credited.
Right.
And like, anyways, though, like with that kind of shit like that, like I said, like they word count that, but there are certain elements that just make it happen. You know what I mean? They just it's like if the story is Lando takes back Cloud City, or how Lando gets Cloud City, and they all wrote on scripts like that, they're all going to end up like potentially having credit on it. You know, it's possible. But anyways,
what if he just becomes a robot pimp? You know, he just pimps after Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, dude, so it's all new stories.
At Celebration 2, at Celebration 2, they were doing a Lando Lobot reunion where with Billy D. Williams and John Hollis. And there was this adorable little boy. He's probably a man now when you think about it, dressed up as Lando. And like you could tell Billy D, like his heart was very warm. He was touched by this, right? And then the next guy comes up and is like, Billy D, I just want you to know you're a pimp. And Billy D's face goes fucking cold. He is not happy. He does not appreciate being called a pimp by a white guy.
Right.
As a black man in 2002, he was not part of that late 90s where being a pimp was cool. And he was just like why would he basically was like, why would you say that to me? And then like, it was really awkward.
Why would you do that, dude?
You know? But later on, I saw it happen. I saw it happen later on, and Billy D's demeanor was different. I think he understood how the word had changed, but at that point, he didn't know. But and then also, like, I appreciated it, but he spent like 20 minutes showing us his paintings, and they were very, very good, and I really enjoyed it. But Star Wars fans were like, "Bring a fucking book!" Like, they did not want to see an artist's paintings; they wanted to see Lando. You know what I mean? It was a good time. It was a good time.
Well, I think we did it today, Jason. I think we covered everything.
We had a broken show. We fixed the show. We put it back together.
Yeah.
You couldn't see us
anymore.
And
they said I can't hold the show. Someone complained that I can't hold the show on my own. I'm like, why would I talk about Star Wars to myself? Like, why would I do that? I do fun when Jason's here to argue. I know you do it because you're a madman. You know.
Hey, Mission Impossible 8 times.
Yes.
Mission Impossible 8 times.
You damn straight.
Yeah.
You damn straight. Might go see it again this weekend. Go see it again.
You should see Barbie and Oppenheimer.
No. I don't like being memed into. I don't like being memed into seeing a movie. I'm not doing it.
But you
wait.
You missed Barbenheimer, bud. You're not part of it. You're not in the Barbenheimer family. You're not one.
I'm good. I saw Spice World in the theaters. I got legit cred when it comes to seeing.
No, fuck you, Rob. That's what that and Creed killed good music. You're part of the problem, not the solution, buddy. You're part of the problem.
Album. I like that first album. First Creed album, pretty good.
Yeah,
it's better than what Pearl Jam was doing at the time. I'll tell you that much.
I did like one time when I looked at Baby Spice in the eyes in her video, and I could telepathically hear her say "spank me." You know, she said that to me. She didn't say it, but she said it. You know,
it's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
But anyways, we'll be back tomorrow talking about Star Wars news du jour. Once again, one last little tidbit or little thing to say. This is a plan on the table. This is a fly on the wall piece of news, if you will. And not saying it's going to happen. I have no idea what the likelihood of it happening is, but it might. And right now, if we continue on this trajectory, it could. It's likely to happen. But anything could change at any moment. You know, the studios could see the light of day. Something could happen. Fuck, it might get worse. You know what I mean? It may get so bad that it can't even happen. That's another thing that could happen. If the strike goes 2 years, for instance, that could happen. Would that happen? Honestly, I think at that point, they just stop using the WGA. I think that they just completely go scabs only. And if you want to write in Hollywood, I think that's what they're aiming for anyways. I think that's where this is going. Oh, one last thing, Rob, before we go. Did you see that those guys made a fucking South Park AI creator and like they're able to like put in prompts and change scenes and everything like that? It's like they can literally do South Park in AI with the voices and the art, everything right now. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, these studios know what they're fighting against right now. These studios got to be south. If you own Family Guy and you own The Simpsons, you got to be salivating at that right now. And that's something else to take into consideration. Watch the
to be
South
fair,
Park. I think it's fucking creepy, dude.
The animation for South Park is not the same as the animation for Simpsons or Family Guy. So there is a stylistic. Will that mean they'll breed a bunch of shows that sort of fit to whatever AI can pump out? I have no doubt that they will attempt to do that.
Yeah,
you know, which is. And the only thing that's going to stop this is true litigation or federal action, you know. So, and everyone can go, well, that's just the way the future is. And I'm like, look, man,
take your hands off my goddamn free market.
I've already navigated several industries going under. I'm well versed on how to deal with that on my end, you know, but the industry as a whole, like if you think things are going to get better because one person can let a machine, let me tell you what that machine's going to do. It's going to conjure up the same thing over and over again every time. And if you don't believe me, just go look at your algorithm feeds and just see how it keeps showing you the same thing over and over again.
AI, when AI samples itself over and over, it becomes spaghetti. It becomes
spaghetti.
Yeah. So, but the thing about it is,
if you feel the Marvel movies are cannibalizing each other right now, just wait.
Yeah.
You know.
But when I saw what they were doing with that South Park creator, that's where I was a little bit like, oh, they definitely have more reason to fight tooth and nail against the writers on AI, for sure. Like, and for a long time, it's still going to be cheaper to use humans over AI extras for the time being. So that one they may give in on that one, but this writing one, I don't know, man. I don't know. But and right now in 10 years, that South Park one will probably be very common, and you're probably going to be able to do it with The Simpsons and everything else. We just give enough time, right? So anyways, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about all of this shit then. Right, Rob? We ain't scared. AI Rob, are you there?
You know?
Yeah, AI. Yeah. Rob's AI now.
Yeah. I mean, you know, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, who cares? We'll do the show.
Fuddruckers. Oh no, Robbot is messed up. All right, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye,
it's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.